In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. And tonight we have Madison Smits in the building.
Let's go.
I know you can't hear, but I just pressed like the applause. So people are applauding for you.
Oh, sick. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for making this time to join me and, just letting me ask you some questions. For the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, and for you too, is it okay if I call you Miss Smits? I feel like
You do your thing.
All right. And for you, Miss Smits, if you are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, it is a warm-up. We start off with a warm-up. After that, we'll jump into an icebreaker. After the icebreaker, we'll get into the Wheel of Fate. And then after that, we'll finish out with some closeout questions. Sound good to you?
Sick, yeah.
Well, before we jump into the warm-up, the first question I want to ask you is, how are you? Are you doing well? You've been doing great. How you been lately?
I feel like I'm good. I just had the big break, and that was cool. I was kind of running around a lot, so I'm like tired, but in a different way than I would be at school, So overall, I've been pretty good. Life's been good.
I feel like the default answer I hear a lot after a break is like it wasn't long enough. You feel like it was long enough, or was it not long enough?
To be honest, literally I spent 1 week with half of my family and 1 week with the other half of my family. So I literally didn't have a day, which is okay. Had fun, but I was like, could be sick to like hang out at my house.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I had a similar experience this break. I went to Richmond, in the East Bay, I went to San Jose, and I went to SAC, and for different family parties and all that stuff. I was able to sneak in a couple days of just me time, which was much needed. But I don't know. Sometimes I need more because I am a very introverted person. I know it doesn't show in the podcast or even at work, but I am super introverted.
I hear you, man. We gotta recharge.
Yeah, no, for sure. Gotta recharge. So this one for me, I give it probably like a B. Could have been worse, but
on the grading scale, I love it.
Yeah, I have a rubric of how my breaks go.
Approaching standards, not quite there.
I want to point out the stuff you have in the back. I love the decor.
Oh,
I
thank
don't know
you.
if you could tell in my video too. I have some stuff hung up. I don't know. How would you describe your taste in decor? Like if you were gonna, I'm just curious. And this is the podcast. So
no, I hear you. This is actually what somebody told me when they came into my house. I've never seen the show, but they were like, "You look like what's his name? The parents who own the That 70s Show basement." They were like, "It's like walking into that basement in That 70s Show." I was like, "Cool." Don't know what that means, but like, I don't know. Lots of colors, lots of groovy, funky vibes. I'm thinking like 70s. I love a little mushroom moment. I don't know. I think they're so pretty beautiful. A lot of cool stuff.
I'm with it. Is this a collection throughout your life, or was it gifted to you, or?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's do a little tour. Most of them are from like some old magazines because I don't know why I just don't buy frames. I said I have to just stick it on the wall. So no, I mean this one was cool. I went to like this show in Edinburgh, Scotland with my grandparents, and it was so cool because we got to like, it's like the biggest theater festival in Europe, so it's like a cool way to, I don't know, see what people were doing. A couple of these are just album covers, just like things I've collected over time, but yeah, make them the centerpiece because I don't have a painting big enough for the entire wall.
Not yet, right?
Oh, I like that attitude. Yeah.
No, I got you. Well, I appreciate you sharing. I know you can't really tell with my stuff in the back. I collect stuff. I like to buy art from like the vendors and like farmers markets and stuff. I don't know if you've ever tried to sell stuff as an artist, but man, it's like
that's hard.
Yeah, and everyone wants to, low. I get it, there's bartering, but if you're the person selling it, you're just like, come on, man.
Just buy it, please.
Yeah. Please, full price. But I got you.
No discount. No, I got you.
Let's jump into the warm up.
All right, hit it. I'm not the fire. This is crazy.
Thank you. I added I know you can't hear it right now, but hopefully when you hear it, just like some fire, like place sounds.
Oh, I love this.
And I hope it like it resonates well. Well, we'll see. This is the first time, so
Cool.
thank you for helping me out.
Of course.
My first question for you in the warm up, Miss Mitz, is what would you like the audience to know about you? So I like to frame this as like a disclaimer, right? Like we meet so many people and we don't normally get a chance to be like, hey, wait, this is who I am. So what would you like to tell the audience?
I don't know. I'm silly. I'm goofy. I love to try a new experience. I guess that's why I'm here. Never been on a podcast before. Stoked to thank you for being the first one. I don't know. Crafting, artsy. I don't know. It's kind of my vibe.
I got you.
Yeah.
You mentioned being silly. You think you were silly ever since you were a little kid, or was it something you had to grow into, get comfortable in? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 1,000,000%. I have always been the silliest girl on the block. Often to the point where, like, when I was in 4th grade, some girl was like, "You're really weird." And then I'd be like, "Yeah, thanks. I take that as a compliment."
Word. So
I was in it.
You were aware? Like you were like, I am different from other people? Or
So self-aware, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, so self-aware.
I got you. Well, yeah, what do you, I mean, no, it's not like passing judgment, but what's something you've been aware about of other people? Like you saw them and you saw yourself, and was there at any point you were like, I think I'm not like that, or I'm different, or yeah.
Ooh, I mean, I guess I grew up in San Diego, and San Diego has a very strict, like, I don't want to say beauty standard, but kind of like community vibe. It's like you kind of need to be blonde, you need to be like surfing, you need to be like tan or whatever, and I don't fit like any of those descriptions. And I went to school with a lot of people. I went to like a Dutch school, and everyone was like, sounds crazy, but everyone was like super tall and blonde and tan, and I was just like not that. So I kind of just like known. And I think San Diego culture is that same thing where it's like you kind of need to be a certain way. I feel like Bay Area culture is more like you can express yourself no matter what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I didn't live in San Diego, but I did live in Long Beach, and a lot of people
I get the vibe.
And I think Long Beach is one of those places down in SoCal that has that Bay Area vibe, sort of like you could just be eccentric and kind of be out there.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was able, like, I went to Long Beach because of that feeling. I remember going on a college tour and I was like, oh, this is pretty chill. But definitely like LA was a different beast. And there was a lot of different things. I don't know if you felt like this was a SoCal thing, but the handshake that's like that.
Oh my God, bro. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, when I first went down to Long Beach and someone did that to me, I didn't know how to react. I was like, wait, what?
What are you doing? Put your hand away.
So that was pretty funny. But yeah, everybody, I don't know if that was like a good handshake where they like, oh, this is a sign of respect, or this is like, oh no, that's who you are, like.
Oh, that's weird. No. I guess
sure.
you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's so ingrained.
Yeah. My second question for you in the warm up is, how would you like to be honored? So, let's say you moved away and you weren't around your friends, but they were like, man, we want to do something in Madison's honor, like just to feel her energy around. What would you want those people to do?
Ooh, I love an activity. I love a structured thing. So maybe like a planned itinerary of like things to do for the day. Like everyone gather around. We're going to a thrift store. We're going to the record shop. We're gonna go get iced whatevers. We're gonna go hang out. We're gonna go dance. I don't know, just like a structured. I love a schedule. I love a activity. I don't like any sitting around.
Word. Okay, I got you. I thank you for giving us a list though. Like that was very specific.
Oh,
and now I think folks know what to do.
I know. You better be on it. No, I'm a Virgo. It's disgusting. I'm structured.
You wouldn't say you like that about yourself? Like wanting the structure, wanting the itinerary, and
I do think so. I can loosen it up a little bit though. I could do that.
I got you. I wasn't really an itinerary person, I guess, until you get older too. Like I remember telling myself, yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Very cliche. But I realized as I'm older and like different friend groups. I remember the first time I went on a trip and someone made an itinerary, and I'm like, what the hell? And I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
wait a minute.
I was like, man, I thought we were just hanging out, but I guess it makes sense though. And you know, nature of my job, I have to create itineraries for field trips
I
and
know.
things like
That's
that.
actually so surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten better at it, I would say. And like, if like my partner really likes itineraries, so she sometimes usually handles that side, and then for me, I just go with it. But I know for me, like, I don't know. I feel like is your are your itineraries like super specific, or it gives you like room, like go to the record store, cool. It's not like go to the record store, find 3 things. And,
No. Oh my god, no. I mean, like, I'll go in with intentions, I guess, but I'm never gonna be like 403 to 408, go. That's
Okay.
not really my vibe. But I do like to be realistic in terms of like timing.
I do like I guess planned activities, like the way you framed it. I enjoy
Yeah.
that. It's like cool, we're in Hawaii, what is there to do? I'm like, okay, we're gonna try this and this and this. Other than just like, oh, let's just figure it out. And that kind of, you don't want to waste a trip sometimes, right? And just
Oh,
be
for
like,
sure.
and I feel like there's been times where I end up just staying at the hotel and stuff like that. I'm just like, damn, I wish I really created an itinerary and like,
Oh,
maybe
there you
got
go.
a and my last question for you, Madison, in the warm up is, how well do you know yourself? We talked about a little bit of self-awareness earlier, but if it makes it any easier, you could give me a scale from 1 to 10.
I'd say like a 7 or an 8. Like, I know myself pretty well, but I'm not gonna know everything. There's got to be like, I don't know, like a 2% or the 2 for future. I don't know, saving it in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, we could never really fully know ourselves, right? Someone had told me like it's impossible to get a 10 because you're never gonna see yourself the way other people see you. So it's like
Terrifying. Oh my god. Yeah.
terrifying. You think it's or like, well, we'll jump into that question
Oh,
when we get
scary.
to
Okay,
there.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality? Besides the
Ooh.
silliness, since you called that one out already. What
Oh
else?
yeah. I'd say I just have a good ability to kind of connect with people where they're at. Kind of like, I guess, tying it back to my job. Like, I really see all types of student. I see the student who does not want to be there. I see the student who's like too excited to be there. I see the student who's kind of like in between. And I feel like I can kind of gauge. I'm pretty good at gauging people's needs and like where I gotta meet them at their level.
That's what's up. I mean, for me, being receptive to your energy, I feel like you definitely meet me where I'm at. So I appreciate
Yeah, we're
that.
ready. Silly, goofy day. We're ready.
For students who, like you said, might not want to be there, do you have any strategies, or like, how do you try to, switch that in their mind? If you find a way yet, I know it's very difficult.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I think at that point you kind of just like take the teacher hat off and you put on the like just a cool adult who's just here to kind of be there for you hat. I don't know. Like, I obviously want you to do your work, but like if something happened at home, I'm not going to be like, turn to page 48. I'm going to be like, oh man, like that sucks. Do you need to take a nap? Do you want to whatever? And sometimes just like being a little more, I don't know, human to them just kind of allows their defenses to go down a little bit more. But yeah, because I feel like if a kid does not want to be there, they're not going to do the work,
No, for sure. I have such a hard time sometimes with like the programs I run, because I think you get the vibe. I'm like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I got you.
super nice pushover guy. So I had this one time where like I had these kids come in. I needed them to stay like hopefully till 4:45.
Like,
yeah. And then I remember when I told them that, they were like, sure. And then like at 4:25, they're like, oh, Jen, I gotta go. And then I'm all like, all right, sure. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I'm like, wait, what happened?
I know.
And I don't feel comfortable yelling at them and being like, oh,
No,
I
me
told you guys to
either.
stay. Yeah, it's like, I get it. You want to do something else, but I wish you had just told me in the beginning, like, you weren't gonna stay, because then I had my hopes up and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever created a lesson plan that you felt really great about and then it just wasn't landing. Yeah.
Literally teaching middle school in its essence. I was like, hey guys, they're like, this sucks. I'm like, sick.
Yeah, cool. Like, it's okay. We could do something different. Um, yeah, so I get that. And, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I hope that approach, and you said teacher hat versus just an adult being there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have that teacher hat. I really have the other one.
No, interesting.
Yeah, my job really just allows me to just be an adult that's there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't know how it affects them. I don't know how much impact I make, but it's something that I enjoy doing and just fortunate to be around. I wanted to ask you about education. I know you're in it. Is that, like, did you know that's what you wanted to be when you were younger, or, you know, again, did you have to grow into it?
Ooh. I guess it's a little bit of both. I think when I'm the oldest of 3, so I've kind of always been the older daughter, kind of doing things for the first time and kind of teaching people how to do things. So it's kind of just already been in me. But I think when I was in high school, my family, oh my god, this is so silly. My family has like this lady that they go to. They just call her the lady.
Okay.
And her name is Helen. And Helen is like a career counselor, a college career counselor that like my great uncle went to one time. And then since then, she's like done every single person in my family. Like she did my mom, she did my aunt, she did me, she did both my sisters. And she's like, I don't even know if she's alive right now. She's like ancient. She's like, I'm so sorry, a very old lady. It was like going to like a prophetic like lady. It was wild. So she like sat me down and she gave me 3 tests. One was like your interest test, one was like a personality test, and one was like an aptitude test. And then all 3 of those kind of merged together and they came out with like 3 options. One was a flight attendant, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not the vibe. Second one was florist. I was down, but my mom was like, no. Third one was teacher. So it kind of just fits my vibe, as well as like I'm interested in it and I want to help people, and so I think that's kind of how I settled on it. And I was like, cool, it fits me, I'm gonna do it.
That's dope as hell. I wish. Can I meet that lady if she's still around?
I don't know.
Well, maybe I'll ask her to, you know, if she is, you know, floating.
Yeah, shout out Helen, of course.
Shout out to Helen. If you're floating energy, please come to me tonight.
Yeah,
you know,
please,
in a dream
please.
or something. I love that kind of stuff. I love it when, you know, there's not an aptitude test, but like those personality tests, or just like things to learn about yourself a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I was digging into it. I was living. I had a great time.
I just never know like how much weight I should put into it, because you know, one of the first things that comes to mind is like, you know, there's zodiacs, and
I know it. Yeah.
Well, did I ever tell you what zodiac sign I was? I don't know if you could guess. I'll give you one guess.
I don't want to, not on air.
Okay.
I'm scared. I was gonna get it wrong. I don't know. You give a water vibe or an earth vibe.
Well, I'll let you know. I am a Taurus.
Yeah, earth vibe. Okay,
earth vibe. Yeah, you got that. But yeah, so I remember as a kid, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, I read a zodiac book and I was like, holy crap, this is me. But then, you know, at a certain point, I was like, well, I feel like if I read everyone else's zodiac, I would have felt like, oh, that relates, this relates. Not everything. Yeah. Not everything 100%, but for sure that made me open up my mind and just be a little more like, well, you know, maybe I'm a little bit of this and that. But someone told me I need to check out my moon and my sun and all that stuff.
Of course, you have to do the research.
Do you do the readings, or like, can you help people understand their zodiacs?
I feel like I have a good enough grasp, and I do feel like, again, because of my job, I feel like I've seen so many, like, this is so embarrassing. Sometimes I do put seating charts based on their signs.
Word, okay.
But I did it like, I don't know. Sometimes when I don't know the kids, I'm like, maybe we'll have this be the Earth table. You guys are gonna be chill. But I feel like I've seen enough to the point where like there are some stereotypes, or not stereotypes, but like things that I've noticed in terms of like students and stuff. So I do feel like I'm pretty good at being able to like be like, oh, you're a this, which means I'm noticing this about you. But I'm never like, you're a Taurus, which means you're really stubborn, aren't you? I'm never gonna like do that, but I'll be like, oh, like you really love comfort and you really love just like making people feel like you have a safe space, you know? Just like things that I know about you, but also the sign.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I'll probably ask you maybe later on, like, what is it? I guess what the bad things about Taurus is because sometimes I read it and it's always just like positive things, but it never gives me like, you know, things I should work on. So.
Oh well, both my sisters are Tauruses, so don't worry, I got some stuff.
I know the stubborn part though. You don't have to remind me about it.
Okay.
But for sure. And I think that is it for the for the warm up. Let's move on to the icebreaker.
Down.
Here we go.
Oh, the ice.
So earlier you had chosen a this or that, correct?
Yeah, please.
Cool. I'm gonna pull up the 34 seconds on the clock. This isn't like a race or anything. It's just to, you know, get your mind like to push forward and not overthink the
a little improv, of course. Yes.
Exactly. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Growth or security?
Oh, growth.
Roller coasters or water slides?
Roller coaster.
Group hangout or one-on-one hangout?
I'm a one-on-one girl.
Hang out with little kids or old folks?
Oh, I feel like I'm closer to the kids so I can match their vibe. Yeah, kids.
See the future or change the past?
Oh, change the past probably.
Vacation or staycation?
Staycation. I don't want to say it.
I got you. Well, thank you for going through it. I do want to follow up on a couple ones. Growth and security gave you a reaction there. Like when we got.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you can, what was coming up for you, and like, why did you choose growth?
I feel like ultimately growth is more valuable than security. However, I'm somebody who really likes to stay in the security space and kind of like slowly reach out and grow when I need to. But I feel like ultimately like security is important, but like growth is the ultimate goal, you know? So having to choose between them both, I was like, oh, my heart says security, but my brain says growth.
No, I know what you mean. When would you say is the last time you recognized growth in yourself?
Ooh. You know what? I was just reflecting on this today because we were doing a worksheet in class, but I feel like my work-life balance, it's not amazing, but it's definitely a lot better than it used to be. My first couple years of teaching was so crazy, but now I feel like I've kind of gotten to a spot where I feel comfortable. I can like make plans after school and like go be my own person and like turn off the teacher and turn on me, you know?
No, I hear you. That's what's it called? It's hard, you know. I try, but I don't think I'm reaching my maximum like, oh yeah, this is balanced completely just yet.
Oh, we'll never do that. Never. But, you know, we'll get like
hope.
close.
I needed hope.
Oh, sorry. No, you'll totally get it. You'll totally get it.
No, I you know, I think when I choose things for my balance, it almost, you know, I'm trying to figure out a way to not feel as selfish, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of folks out there who do a lot of things that they don't want to do. And, you know, they have responsibilities, they have obligations. And, you know, for me, it's like, I don't think I have too many of that. And maybe that's why it feels a little unbalanced, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I wish maybe someday I'll get to a point where when I do take time for myself, it doesn't feel like selfishness. It just feels like, well, I deserve this time.
Yeah, like what you earned.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I got you. And then one other one I want to follow up. You said, I asked hang out with little kids or old folks. You said little kids. And you said you felt a little closer to them. How do you still feel youthful, would you say?
Oh, I embrace my inner child all the time. I do coloring pages. I'm like listening to music that I listened to when I was a kid. I'm always like, I don't know. I'm always just doing things that I feel like I've always done since I was little, and it kind of just like makes me more of that. But again, I feel like old folks have so much that like they're so cool. Are you kidding me? They're just like a bunch of cool people who've lived a cool life. So it's really hard to choose between both. But I guess like I have the stamina to keep up with the little ones, so I'll do it while I can.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I know you taught. You said you taught middle school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How would you say the energy is different from middle school to high school since you've been doing
Oh my God. I feel like middle schoolers, okay, if you tell a middle schooler to get off their phone, you're like, get off your phone. They're like, what the heck? I wasn't even on my phone. Look. And then they run around the room, and then they like do a somersault in the middle of the room, and then they're like, can I go to the bathroom? And then they leave. They never come back. I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. I feel like if you tell a high schooler, you're like, hey, can you get off your phone? They're like, okay, you're right. I kind of need to get my shit together. So I feel like it's, yeah, like they're a lot more laid back. Like honestly, they meet me where I'm at, which I like.
You know, I do sense that as far as like when I work with students, a lot of I think that's why I working with high schoolers, because they have some sort of conscious or awareness of like.
Thank you, and thank you for having that, all of you guys.
It's like you know, I mean, you know, but they're probably thinking, well, now I'm speaking for them, but like,
yeah,
you know, Jan's just an older guy that works here. He doesn't, you know, I don't need to go super hard or negative at him because like I haven't done much to them. But yeah, it's I like that they can recognize it. I feel like I remember one time, I don't work with middle schoolers too often, but every once in a while they'll have us do an event for a middle school, and I had to watch the jumper. You know, I'm like standing there watching the jumper, and then one of the kids, I was like, "Hey man, no wrestling," and then it's like, "What do you mean? We're not wrestling?" And the same reaction you just gave. And then I was like, all right, you know how I treat high school. Like, all right, relax. And then, but when they do it again, I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna argue with a kid, so I'm just gonna pull the plug. And then so that's how.
That's savage. That's crazy.
Well, you know, at least I could look at the little kid and be like, what did I tell you? Like, you did not want to stop.
I love it. That's a crazy move, Jen. Oh my God.
Well, I hope my bosses don't hear me. Maybe it wasn't the safest thing to do.
Oh, sorry. No.
No, it's cool. It's
not at all.
But the kid understood afterwards, and you know, he stopped wrestling. So I'm like, well, I guess that worked. So
yeah, there you go. Lesson learned.
Yeah, I mean, I try to meet them where they're at too, but I think I won't be able to handle the whole like just ignoring me. You know, it's like, that would probably get under my skin, and yeah, I guess we'll find out maybe one day how I would really react if I was in that kind of situation.
I hope that never happens to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll figure it out though. Let's jump into the third part of the interview, which is the Wheel of Fate.
Spooky.
All right, so before I pull up the wheel, I just want to let you know, if anything is too deep or too like personal, feel free to pass. No pressure.
Sure.
And then forgot to do this extra thing. So let me pull that up. Cool. And Wheel of Fate. Yeah.
I click it, or you?
I haven't figured out how you can click it. I have to click it on my end.
You click. Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's just funny. I wish you could click it, but for now I have to just do it. But you have number 18. Would you consider yourself religious or spiritual?
That is so crazy. I was thinking about that today. Religious, no. I grew up very Christian, and I have since kind of made my own way in the world. But spiritual is I would say I am spiritual, but I kind of don't know how to define the spirit, you know? Like, I'm kind of just like trusting in my intuition and kind of like like tarot cards and stuff sometimes, and like,
for sure, yeah,
I don't know, just like things that aren't objectively super, like, I'm not going to take them as 100% the word, but like, I don't know, they kind of often give me insight into things that I didn't realize, and I feel like yeah, just like getting grounded into like nature and like getting grounded into like who I am as a person. I don't know if that's considered spirituality, and I don't know what that is, but it's something. It's in its own little thing.
No, for sure. I mean, I feel like, I grew up in Catholic school, so when I was growing up, I was an altar server and all these
King,
things.
love it.
Yeah, yeah, I should find a picture. But yeah, so I remember being very much in tune with what I was being taught, and I think the reason I got into hip hop at the time was because I heard a Nas song, and he talked about Jesus in the song, and I was like, whoa, rap talks about Jesus, I'm gonna listen to more rap.
Oh, crazy.
So yeah, I got into it. But you asked, how to define spirituality. I don't know. I think that's a good question. And if I were to define it, I think it's more like if you can just feel like there's something more than what we have right now, and like there's other things in play, then yeah, I think that's being spiritual in a sense.
That's a really good definition. I really like that. Thank you.
Because I think that's how I feel about it too. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I'm Catholic as hard as I was before, but I definitely still believe. And I have this this sounds gonna sound corny, but my acronym for my beliefs is called AGUA, like water.
Whoa.
It stands for ancestors, God, universe, and my sister. But I say in Tagalog it's called ate, like sister.
Yeah.
So those 4 things that I pray to pretty much makes up my spirituality. Like those are,
Nice.
And God in the universe to me is very synonymous, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, so I think it's everything, and maybe I sound kind of hippie saying it, but everything is everything, and we all dying means our energy's out there. It's just not in a physical body. So yeah, I would say that. If you were gonna, I don't know if this one's one you could answer, but what would you say you pray for if in those moments?
Pray for. I mean, like praying, not. I don't know, or like, I guess I would use the word like manifesting, or I don't know, but just. I think I would pray for just like my own success, my own like mental clarity, my own creativity, my own spirituality, just like to kind of be the best me that I can be, I guess.
I got you. And if there's people who have temples, I have a church, but for you, is there any place or location that makes you feel a little more spiritual or like closer to the things that is out there?
That's a crazy question. Honestly, this is crazy. I love Dolores Park. I think there's so much to do there and so much. I don't know. I feel like it's such a beautiful view. It's got a lot of different vibes. It's very eclectic. It's got its own little thing. But I really do. You know that meme? It's like, I feel God in this Chili's tonight. It's like, I feel God in this Dolores Park. Or just
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Or like concerts and stuff, I think. Just like that idea of like everyone coming together and kind of just like lifting up whatever we're lifting up.
No, for sure. On that note, do you have a story of like a concert where everybody was just on the same page or like was singing the song, like bar for bar, word for word, and it was just memorable? Well, what concert was that for you?
There's this artist that I love, I'm obsessed with. Her name is Indigo de Souza, and she's very like spiritual, like indie alternative, but like such a cool vibe. And I went to see her for the first time, and everyone was like there's a song where she just like screams, and everyone was like down, and everyone was screaming, and it was like a good like release catharsis. And no, it was just like beautiful to see kind of everyone know all the words and everyone just be like, this is like we're getting into our feels as a group, and it was like really beautiful.
That's what's up. Yeah, in a similar sense, I bring it up because what came to mind. I don't know if you ever heard of Smoking Grooves. That's like a festival in Long Beach. Yeah, it's a festival in Long Beach. There was one time Usher was there, and like
yeah, you don't even have to say anymore.
I didn't even get to see him.
Keep going. Please.
I didn't even get to see him. So it was me and my partner. We were waiting outside for like the bus that takes you from the grounds back to
Hmm.
your heart. And like everybody was missing that concert in line. We all get on this bus, and it was like a school bus or whatever, just random. And everyone starts singing. I think it was Confessions Part 2, like on the bus.
Wait,
It
that's so
was.
beautiful.
I felt so connected to everybody. I was like, oh, we were all in class at the same time, huh? Like, that's how I felt. And I was like,
I feel God in this bus tonight. Yeah.
hey, that was a time for sure. And my last question for you in this sense is so religion, spirituality is a big topic, but how do you feel when there's other people's opinions just don't match up with yours when it comes to your spirituality? Like, I think there's goodness in everybody, and then someone tells me like, no, Jan, you're wrong. I think for me, the way I react normally is like, well, that's cool, that's what you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for you, is it similar, or like would you want to try to change their mind?
I mean, I guess it depends on what we're disagreeing on, obviously. But I do think, yeah, if someone tells me it's like, oh, no, like that's wrong, or like this is real and this is not, then again, I think I'm just like, cool. Like, of course. And that's what you believe. And I'm not going to question what you believe. But like, I don't know. I feel like my life experience has led me to this idea, and your life experience is leading you to this idea. Maybe one day we'll merge. You never know. And so it's kind of just, yeah, you think what you want to think. I'm thinking what I want to think. If we don't agree, that's okay. But,
I dig it, Miss Smits. I feel you.
thank
That's how I be too. I'm gonna pull up the wheel again.
Oh,
And
spooky.
then
Okay.
let me spin it one more time.
Oh, the suspense is crazy.
32. How would you like to be remembered?
Like, if I die? Not if,
I
when.
didn't say that, but
Oh, cool.
no. I will say, yeah. I think when I wrote this question, that's what I had in mind, though.
Okay. Yay. Love that vibe. How do I want to be remembered? I'd say I would like to be remembered as somebody who really cared for her community, who was always trying to make people laugh and make themselves feel good. And yeah, I guess I want to be remembered for my love of others and seeing the good in other people and trying my hardest to be patient and kind and just creative and just to provide a space for people to be themselves, I think, which I know is not. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know. Essentially, that's what life is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, I want everyone to think that way.
Yeah, you're right.
It's interesting, like how, I don't know, when I have conversations with people and I do get really passionate about like, oh yeah, I'm doing this podcast for this reason, and even with Hella Hungry, right? Like I feel like I have my business minded friends who always tell me, well, like, how are you gonna make money, or how is this gonna basically sustain yourself? And I get it, and maybe that's why I'm not like a super legit podcast or anything, because that's not really what I'm looking for or trying to accomplish with it. But I think it's just tough, I had a follow up about how to be remembered, and it is, what don't you think people notice about you?
What don't people notice about me? Whoa.
It's okay.
No, I'm thinking about it. That's a great question. I guess tying it back to work, because it's like my default right now, I guess.
All good.
Like, I don't know, that your actions, like the consequences of your actions kind of like make me feel bad sometimes, or like if you're doing something and like you shouldn't be, or like, I don't know. I guess sometimes people don't see like the humanity or like how that might make me feel, in
Yeah.
a classroom space, I guess. Again, tying it all back to that, I feel like I'm pretty vocal outside of the classroom about my needs and my feelings and my wants and my whatever, but I feel like I can't really do that in that space. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. And I guess it makes me think about, just more stuff at work or like,
I know.
uh,
Sorry, work talk.
well, what kids, may or may not notice about the teachers, like
Hmm.
when you're having a bad day or, I don't know. I don't know why kids are scared of me sometimes. Do you ever get that where like kids are scared of you and you're just not sure why?
Unfortunately, no. Even as much as I want them to be afraid of me, I am too. I know. There's like I try to be like cool and mysterious on like the first couple of weeks, and then every time students are like, "You seemed really cool from day one." I'm like, "Cool, thank you."
I hope that's a compliment, like,
No, it definitely is, but I'm like, oh, I try to be cool and mysterious.
yeah. I don't know. Would you ever? I don't know if you gotten to the point of like taking silly pictures for yearbook and like wearing
No, I
something
didn't know that
different.
was an option. I
Me
had no idea.
either.
And then I saw everyone's and I was like, wait a minute, I'm coming next year. It's over for you all. I'm ready.
There was a kid wearing like a wig and like a fake mustache or beard or something, and I was like, bro, you're different. You're probably thinking about things, like outside of school and stuff. So I hope he feels empowered, and not like
Oh, dude,
shut down or bullied.
absolutely.
um, but yeah, and do I have another follow up? No, not for this one. Let
Okay.
me pull up the wheel again. Give it another spin. Just want to thank you again, Miss Smits. I hope this has been fun for you. Like I know it's always fun for me, but thank you again for coming through. Number 23 is, in general, what do you doubt or question?
Ooh. Honestly, our government. I feel like I'm in this place right now where I'm questioning politics and questioning like the future of our world and questioning like as much as I want to be like, oh yeah, like we can stop climate change, like part of me is very doubtful about it because I think there's so much greed and like all this, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just so much happening to the point where I'm starting to like, I guess, doubt our capabilities of like turning around as a society, which is, I guess, very doom and gloom. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Just came to mind.
It's did you feel like there was more hope when you were younger and like maybe in high school, maybe in middle
Yeah.
school?
I guess like pre social media. Okay, this I sound like a boomer. No, I don't mean like that, but I mean I mean like when I guess I was growing up like I had my first flip phone in 7th grade and like I had a childhood without like technology and like all that stuff and like I know that like oil and energy and water were things that like we needed to conserve and like I felt like we did a good job, but I feel like with smartphones and computers and literally this whole like uptake in Amazon and like all these streaming services and stuff, like I just feel like we're getting to a point where people are kind of forgetting that like our planet has like a time limit, babe. We're ticking, and I feel like I'm doubtful that we will be able to set that aside for a planet that we like can care and you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I mean, I doubt that we'll be able to keep up however we're living now. I think that eventually I think, I like to give credit to the kids in the future that they'll figure out a way.
You're right. Yeah, I gotta be optimistic, yes.
But I don't know, I would really hope and dream of a day where like people were on the same page about, just life and earth and all that stuff. But I think there's too many people out there who want to be right or, like, no, this is the right way. And it's very, very tough. One of my foolish kid dreams, and I wasn't even that young when I thought about this. I was like, man, I'm going to gather 3 people from every country to like on this council. And then it's like the UN sort of. But you get 3 people and hopefully like maybe 2 younger people, 1 older person from every country.
Oh, I like that.
So there's like some kind of conversation about decisions that we make, and it's not just, one person speaking for everybody. But even that, like, how are you going to choose those 3 people? I haven't found the science for that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, even if I could just make that happen, not in a UN sense, but just like in a maybe a podcast sense, have 3 people from every country
Ooh,
kind of just
hey,
talk
now
it
you're
out.
pushing.
Maybe. But yeah. So like even with this, as far as the future goes, what are you hopeful for, or what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to honestly a new era that I think our kids are doing a really good job at of like advocating for themselves, and I think kind of um, they, for lack of a better word, they really don't give a fuck. So like they can kind of just, I don't know, they are, I feel like, very courageous in speaking up for what they find is right, and for I don't know, I just feel like they're doing a really good job with that, and they really don't care about like I don't want to say rules, but like they notice that there needs to be a change, and so like, will we? Will that happen? I don't know, but like I'm really hopeful that like they will find out how to do it, or like I don't know. I feel like our kids are in a very interesting space, you know?
No, for sure. And like with all the information they have at their fingertips, right? It's like
Yeah.
if you're asking the right questions, if you're searching in the right places, you're gonna find some answers. Um, I know for me, I had that one moment, especially after the elections and stuff. Students come in pretty upset, and they're like, they want to do something, but they don't know what it is that they can do.
Exactly.
And that is, I'm thinking to myself, well, they want to walk out, and like, okay, cool, but like we're trying to ask them, like, what are you trying to accomplish with the walking out?
Exactly.
And really, they did. I think some did, but not, not a whole group. I don't know. For me, especially for that particular student, like, I know they have these skills and talents and like natural ability to lead. So I'm like, damn, like, I hope she gets connected with somebody that can give her some direction. And you really pissed off about this. This is how you can do something in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, I hope that I think you do it, and I think a lot of people where we work at do it. Trying to get these kids connected or like see these opportunities to get involved. I do enjoy. Were you teaching during like pandemic and quarantine and stuff?
I was getting my teaching credential.
Okay, for sure. But
That was crazy.
Did you have to like do online teaching and?
Yes, I did Zoom it was so comical actually, looking back on it. It was like so dark. It was so sad, but we made it.
Okay.
We're alive.
In my mind, I remember that I didn't jump back into education until after like they said we could come back, because I don't think I could have done the whole Zoom stuff, especially as a after school coordinator. But
you were so correct. It was insane.
I mean, honestly, I felt like teachers all had to become YouTubers.
I know. I was like a little content creator. It was crazy. I was like, all right, you guys.
Is there anything that you did like about that time, the Zoom teaching? Was there anything that
There was one day where it was me and the rest of my English teaching cohort, because I was in Santa Barbara at the time, and we were like, it was Halloween, and I remember they were like, okay, you have to come dressed up as like a literary thing, and I remember it was pretty sick because they were like, okay, like don't turn your camera on, and then like once everyone's here, we're gonna like all on 3 click the thing, and then everyone got to see everyone's outfits, and because we were at home, we could kind of like go crazy. So that was pretty sick. It wasn't with students though. The students, I'm not gonna lie, were so awful. It was just blank screens. Sorry. But I had fun. It was a good time.
No, for sure. And yeah, like I've definitely done workshops like that before when we were still doing hybrid during the summer. And yes, if you don't have I feel like I'm just talking to myself and just like
No, I was putting on a 1-woman comedy show the whole time.
Did you record any of those? Like self-record?
I actually, oh my god, I had to for my teaching thing, and my final was like, I gave them NWA's Express Yourself.
Sick.
And I was like, okay, here's look for these poetic elements, and it was so funny, because I'm like, all right, you guys ready to rock? Or I say something, and then I like click the button. It's like a whole blank screen. I have to send it to you. It's so stupid.
Please do. And I don't know if you're ever open talking about your teacher like journey, because I think with we do a lot of these career things with the students, especially week without walls with the juniors. But I don't think we ever bring in teachers and talk about education and what's it like to be teaching.
I mean, we do. I just feel like there's not a lot of people who want to, and I think if they did, we get them connected. But a lot of times it's not the vibe.
No, I feel that. I think I've met for sure a bunch of students that I think would make great educators and teachers.
Oh, students always make great teachers. They just don't know until they're out of high school,
Oh, damn. Why you say that? Why do you say that?
I just feel like a lot, like, the same way for me, like, if you were to be like, you're going to be an English teacher, and I'd be like, okay, like, I don't want to be a teacher. Teachers are old. Teachers are weird. Teachers are boring, But then, like, when you get out of school and you're, like, into college and people are like, what do you want to major in? It's like electrical engineering or whatever. It's like, like what sounds more like doable or more fun or something that like you have experience in that you like know you'd be good at. It's like, oh, teaching. A lot of times it's like a second thought for a lot of people.
No, I hear you. I don't even myself. I can't see myself in the classroom. I can't see myself doing what you guys do. But I feel like there's a piece of me that's like, maybe when I'm retired and like 65 or something, then I'm just like,
yeah.
let me just hop into the classroom at this point. I don't know. And, being subject based might be tough for me because it's not like a particular subject that I'm like super passionate about. It's, but you could give me advice another time.
Yeah, for sure.
We have about 10 minutes left, so we're going to jump into the closeout. But before we do that, there is this exercise I would like you to partake in. It's called the 34th mantra. So at this point, it's gonna be you talking to yourself in the universe, and I want you to fill that. All right, we are at the closeout portion of the podcast. This next question is from my previous guest. Shout out to DC. DC's question for you is, when's the last time you did anything without expecting anything in return?
What do you mean? Oh, okay. I mean, sorry to tie it back again, but I guess my job. But I'd say like outside of my job, there's this neighbor that I have, and I watch their cats, and I watch it for like days at a time, and they don't pay me. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's a cat. The cat's cool. We're chilling. I don't know. I let people in on the highway. Is that nice? I don't know.
No, I hear you. That is super nice. I mean, the cat might have a lot of love for you now too.
I know.
So
me and Maggie are like this.
Yeah. I had to take care of my roommate's cat one time, and it was great. Like, I don't normally interact with him, and then when I did, he got really cozy because all your parents are gone. They just need to find somebody to be with.
Yeah.
And then, so that was nice. I don't know what it is about animals, like showing that they like you, that makes you just feel like, oh yeah, I am.
Oh, I know. I'm like, yeah, I really am. I'm killing.
If this animal knows, then everybody knows that
I know. I'm like, oh my god, do you like me or something? That's crazy.
Same thing with babies. When babies like laugh at everything you do, and you're like, oh hell yeah, like,
yes. Let's go. I'm cool.
Yeah. I got this baby's approval. Let's go.
You're like, finally, yes.
But yeah. My second to last question for you, Madison, is what would you like to ask the next guest on 34 Questions?
Ooh. I think I'm stuck between two. Okay. Let's do
two if you got some going.
Two is crazy. Okay. Fine. You choose your favorite. You choose your fighter. Okay.
Sure.
First one's kind of fun and silly. Second one's kind of like, Okay, first one. If there was a clone of you walking around, like, how would you convince other people that you were the real you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
SpongeBob episode with like the robot and Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
That. And then number two, if you could find out the answer to any mystery, like in the universe, what would it be?
I'm just writing them down. If you can.
Oh yeah, jot it down, man. Do what you gotta do.
I will. if you could find the answer to any mystery,
Yeah.
what would it be?
What would you do? Can you answer them? Can I ask you questions?
Oh no, for sure. I like to answer these last two, or like
Sick, sick,
the
sick.
question right before.
Ooh, I love. Okay.
If there was a clone, how would you convince them or convince people that you're the real one versus
Yeah.
the other one? Would they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the same memories as me, or like would they have, or just like physical, like?
Oh, I don't know. We can make it hard. Maybe same memory.
Okay,
No, that's mean. No. Okay.
Well, I like the challenge. So if we had
Okay,
the
cool.
same,
Okay.
if we had the same memory, let me think. What would I do? I think. Ooh, I mean, so I have tattoos. I don't know if that counts because, like, I imagine a clone wouldn't have the tattoos, but
Okay. I'll let it slide. Yeah.
okay, that's the easy one. And if it's one of those like two-door problems, right? Like one lies and one
Yes.
doesn't.
No, you're right. You're right.
I keep forgetting what the answer is to that riddle though. Like people are always like, "Oh, you ask one door, like, are you a door or something like that?" And then they have to either tell the truth or they lie to you. So if they lie to you and say, "Oh no, I'm not a door," then you know that's the one that lies. I don't know if you heard that before.
That. No, I've never heard of that.
But yeah, that was I love riddles too, so it's fun to come across one. But yes, my tattoos. I will be like, no. What's it called?
For sure. You're like, I'm the real me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I have a tattoo on my chest that's reversed, and so it only reads right when I look in the mirror. It sounds super corny, but not to me. But anyways, yeah, I think that would be a unique thing that I don't think other people or like a clone would have. Maybe my clone had it written the right way, and I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
So yeah, maybe that's how I would work it out. And then the second one, if you what answer would you want to get the answer to, like any mystery? There's a lot out there. There is a lot. I think. I'm trying to look for like a mystery that just encompasses everything and kind of answers.
Hey, that's you. No, you can't.
Well, I think one of my biggest mysteries, and I think you might know this already because you might have read the paragraph about the podcast. A mystery to me are my grandparents. Like I do not know them as people at all. And sure, I get recollections from my family. But even then, it's like, the mystery is them. Like, and maybe one day, if you do believe in an afterlife and other people will be there, I hope, I could talk to them at some point. But yeah, if they just told, like, I think the biggest mystery is like, were they anything like the person I became? I'm very curious about that for some reason. But yeah, so
that probably means yes. If you're like, if it still keeps coming back to you.
Maybe. And I did talk to like I don't know if you ever done a Reiki reading or like
No.
Yeah.
But yes, I know what you're talking about. But yes.
Yeah, no, I am open to those things. I've done tarot cards. I don't know if you ever done the Ouija board, but that's something I've done too.
That's the one I'm like, I don't know if I can do that one.
No, it's trippy. And maybe another time I'll tell you the story on how that went.
Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, so those would be my answers to your questions. Thank you, Madison. And I'll probably give the next person both too, just to see.
OT, can't wait. I'll be listening.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to find a way to cut out your video portion of asking the question and then try to throw it into their next video. That would be the next thing I'm trying to figure out. So we'll see. My last question for you, Madison, is 100, 200, 300 years from now, our descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
Like, you're capable of creating or achieving very beautiful things if you love people in your community or loving those around you and treating them well. And also eat your vegetables. Just like save the planet if you can, Loki. Thank you.
Yeah, the the world is in your hands, y'all. So,
No,
uh,
actually,
yeah, you
not
won't
even a
be
joke.
yours.
Like,
Maybe
please, 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 I'm begging.
figure it out. Maybe I don't know. Do you think we'll ever end up on a different planet? You know, like
I don't know. I've read so many, like, I don't know. There's so many books about it, like sci-fi things, where I'm like, that couldn't possibly happen. Could it? And now I don't know.
are you are you open to aliens or nah?
Oh my god, this sounds so silly, but yes, I totally do. I feel it.
I agree. I agree.
Oh my
It's
god,
impossible.
conspiracy theorists, let's go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm out there protesting that aliens are here, but hey,
Alien,
they pop
aliens
up.
are people too.
Yo, we got to talk about alien rights and all that stuff. If it ever comes through, that
Oh, I'm
it's
in.
it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. But yeah, Madison, I just want to thank you again for stopping by. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but is there any last words or any sometimes I interview people who are like, oh yeah, check out my Instagram, da da da. But is there anything
Don't
you want
follow
to
me.
uplift and be like,
No.
yo, people, or people want to check out something? Is there any recommendation that you have? You need to read this book. You need to see this movie. You need to hear this song.
Ooh. Oh, that's so hard. Oh my god, I read Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I read his memoir recently. Crazy. So good. It's called Acid for the Children. There's a lot in there. It's pretty crazy. But he has like a list on the back of like the top 10 concerts he's ever been to, the top 10 albums he's ever listened to, the top 10 books, top 10 everything. And so someday I want to do that. So maybe I'll give you my top 10s. But that book was phenomenal. I really liked it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I will check that out. I'm a fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know it's they've had their
Their
issues,
moments.
yeah, their moments, yeah. But damn, music is still good.
No, it's so crazy too. It's really beautiful. He's like really good at writing, and you would never think because he's the crazy one, but he's like got his stuff together. Anyways,
Sometimes it's the crazy ones, right? That they have that so much insight, so much
yeah.
reflection. And I'm with that. But yeah, what's it called? Madison, thank you again. I want to thank all the folks out there. If you watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you for your time as well. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love. And before I do the last piece, you mind if I take a little quick screenshot, like a picture?
Go crazy.
All right. Well, if you want to pose, I'll count
Oh,
us down. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
I love this. Thank you so
So,
much for having me. What a dream.
no problem. Yeah, reach out, reach forward. As always, much love. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace. And then what's it called? I gotta play the credits afterwards. So here we
T.
go.
Get
Anyway,
it going. Oh, this
is
is
my
sick.
this is my chance just to ask you, how was it for you?
Oh my god. I had a dream. It was so sick. I had a great time.